My first literary source analysis of the myth of Perseus and the Gorgons comes from Apollodorus' The Library, a source of many Greek myths and plays dating back to the 2nd AD. Split into 3 books, we will find the myth of Perseus in Book 2, nestled between that of Bellerophon's defeat of the Chimera and that of Hercules' 12 labors. The myth does not begin with Perseus, but actually his grandfather Acrisius. Inquiring about a male heir, an oracle foretold of his grandson killing him. Fearful, Acrisius locked up his daughter Danae in an underground chamber. Here, Apollodorus gives 2 possibilities of how Danae became pregnant. First is possibly by a man Proetus, or, more likely, by Zeus, who came to her as liquid gold. Not believing Zeus would have seduced his daughter, Acrisius put Danae and baby Perseus in a chest and cast it into the sea. They would eventually arrive in Seriphus and be taken care of by Dictys. Dictys' brother, Polydectes, king of Seriphus, fell in love with Danae, but could not approach with Perseus being a grown man. Polydectes then decided to trick Perseus into leaving by using his own words against him, and sent him off to retrieve the Gorgon's head. This passage is essential within the story, for it begins the hero's journey and sends Perseus on his greatest quest. Apollodorus then tells us that Perseus is protected by Hermes and Athena, which will become very important later on. Before Perseus can go cutting off heads, though, he must retrieve some items from the nymphs. To find his way, he had to ask the daughters of Phorcys, born old crones who shared one eye and one tooth. Here we see Perseus' wit for the first time. He is able to steal the eye and tooth and hold them hostage until he retrieved the winged sandals, the kibyssus, a type of bag, and the cap of Hades, which essentially turns him invincible. Again, using his wits, we see Perseus wait until the Gorgons are asleep before he enters their abode. Knowing Medusa was immortal, he chose her to be head, but needed Athena's help to guide him, since Apollodorus describes the Gorgon's gaze as being able to turn men to stone. Once the deed was done, he donned the helmet, put Medusa's head in a bag, the kibyssus, and flew off hidden from the Gorgons. On his way back to Seriphus, he came upon Ethiopia, where Princess Andromeda was being made prey to a sea monster terrorizing the city. Instantly falling in love with her, of course, Perseus promises to kill the monster, conveniently after he makes the king promise Andromeda's hand in marriage. A plot soon was brought up to kill Perseus by the king's brother, but Perseus outwitted him and was able to turn all conspirators to stone using Medusa's head. The head became convenient again to kill Polydectes when Perseus came home and found Seriphus in ruins and his mother seeking refuge. After Apollodorus states that Perseus gave the sandals, cap, and bag back to the nymphs, which I actually found very honorable considering, and the head was given to Athena, who then put it into her shield. Overall, Apollodorus' telling was thorough and detailed, making the myth both interesting and easy to understand. You will find my citation in the video description.